like said, my name is Christian Brisson. I'm the head of LATAM for ReMark, and I'm happy to be here with you today. ReMark leveraged the findings of our GCS study to help guide our innovation roadmap and partnership strategy. One such insurtech partner is iLife, a Silicon Valley insurtech that increases agent productivity. Together, we're helping agents grow by combining technology with intelligent marketing. I'd now like to welcome the founder and CEO of iLife, Nelson Lee, to the stage.
Hi, everyone. I'm the founder of iLife Technologies. We're a software company that builds front office software to deliver agent and consumer experiences for insurance carriers, distributors. I come from a computer science background, but like Christian, I'm very passionate about solving problems in my insurance space.
Thanks, Nelson, for introducing yourself. Now, we've had a lot of conversations, right? But I never ask you this. Why did you create iLife?
I created iLife from kind of an accident. So I had a company before.
A really nice accident, by the way.
Yeah. Now, I didn't know at the time, but yes, so it's been a good accident. So I had a company before this where it wasn't venture-backed, it wasn't at scale, but our business model was to work with insurance agents and agencies. And in working with insurance agencies and distributors, we had to indirectly work with all their carriers. And in working with all of their carriers and see how they work with agents, I discovered, wow, it's just agents have to deal with a lot. It's like 5, 6 systems within the same carrier, and then to deal with like 12 carriers for business. That's like dozens and dozens and dozens of systems that sometimes don't connect well together, or sometimes just don't connect at all. So I just asked these agents and agencies, like, how do you deal with all this? Did you ever think that everything could be in one place, or it's be a better human digital experience? It gathered enough insights, and the accident happened. I decided to found a software company, and 4 years later, here I am.
Great. Now, there's another thing that I wanted to talk to you about, which is there's a misconception in the industry that digitalization, we need to go from paper-based processes to 100% digital, right? And what have been some of the most interesting human digital behaviors you have observed through your platform?
Yeah, I mean, there's always talk about like, oh, we need to have less paper, more digital. And yeah, like less paper, more digital is good, but that's just a symptom, right? Like the root problem is like, how do we really interact as humans, right? It's true we interact digitally, right? I'll send you something on WhatsApp or phone call, but I also see in real life, we go to a restaurant, go grab coffee. So like, yes, digitization is good, but it's not the only equation. Human digital interaction involves online, offline behavior, and digitization needs to take that into account. Our interaction as humans and as users, it's not black and white. It's not all offline paper and it's not all digital. The two are not mutually exclusive. Like I hope if I see you at a coffee shop, that doesn't mean I can ever send you a WhatsApp, right?
Yeah.
I always. You can see from this study and just general like distribution of premium from carriers that a very significant, if not majority of premium come from some type of human interaction, if not human initiation. Obviously, this differs across product line and geography, but in general, I think it's undisputable that human interactions are very, very critical to the distribution of insurance and the education, awareness, and marketing of insurance.
Okay, thanks. Now, talking about human interaction and digital tools, what I have seen is the agent adoption. They quarrel sometimes to adopt new technologies, right? So can you please tell us what are some ways that carriers can help to ensure their agents and leveraging this available technology?
Yeah, and this is kind of funny because being a engineer or ex-engineer myself, I see this problem a lot in that many of the tools from the older days were really tools built by engineers for other engineers. Like an engineer wanted to build something else so another back office IT person could get something done. Well, that's very nice if you're a back office IT person, but for agents, the use case is not in a back office. The agent doesn't care who builds what in any language or interface. The agent wants to make sure, if I'm a Christian, I need to get a quote, I need to bind a policy, how do I do that? online, offline, that work seamlessly together. And I just think some of the stuff on the older generation was designed with a different kind of product design thinking and user study in mind, right? They never used to study internet users, well, in part because there were not as many internet users.
Yeah.
Now we know how internet users behave on a much deeper level, and engineers should stop building for other engineers. Unless you were building a dev tool, which we're not.
Okay, so, I mean, there are a lot of tools in the market, right? What would be a differentiator that you can tell us about iLife?
Well, at the attempt of not trying to make this a advertisement about my company, but we try to make things more all-in-one, because I think all-in-one is intuitive, even if it wasn't iLife, right? Anything that's more all-in-one is intuitive for non-engineer users of technical products, whether it's hardware or software, right? Do you all remember the days before the iPhone, so pre-2007? What do we have to carry? We have to carry a cellular phone, a CD player, and a laptop that had a web browser.
And a digital camera.
Yeah, oh yes, and a camera. Well, I'm terrible, but yes, if I was a better photographer, I would carry a camera. There's like a lot of stuff you had in your backpack, right? And frankly, like probably none of us really care how it's made or engineered, but the fact that Apple put everything in one phone, that's pretty impactful, right? That's really impactful, and I think building software insurance shouldn't really be anything different. It's like, how do we impact the end user, which is, the end user is never just a consumer, although we're talking about consumer side, but consumers reach a lot of insurance companies through agents. How do we impact end users, both agents and consumers alike, so they feel the same way about our product the way we used to feel about the first iPhone?
Also, I want to ask you, do you think for LATAM, the digital transformation, it's going a little fast, a little slow? What's the pace for our market?
I think it could be extremely fast, if not faster than what the US had to, because initial transformation, because, well, number one, the technology now is much more mature than when the US went through their first transformation. And number two, LATAM, relatively to the US, is much more under-penetrated in terms of technology. So if you deliver a less painful experience or great experience, something that's more convenient, it will stand out a lot more. It will be more impactful, right? Because like in one place, you might be going from like, I don't know, old poor software to better software, right? But if you're going from like me faxing to 3 different people into great software, that's pretty impactful.
Thank you, Nelson, for being here with us today. Thank you for responding all of our questions. And as a final message, I think that digitalization is where we are heading, but we're still not yet, at least in LATAM. So we need to provide the agents or the sales force with the right tool, such as iLife or other tools.